A rooter to toot, a boodle to fucking doot. Welcome back again, you idiot fuck bastards. It's disgusted yet satisfied. Thank you for joining us once again. I am your host, Snake Mitchelltree. Along with me, as always, my man BT.
What up, fuckos?
And fuckos, these fuckos is right. What are we gonna fucking do this week? Well, the Super Bowl's over. That's it. As you see on your screen, there's only one team left. It's all said and done. The Seahawks are your Super Bowl 60 champions. And how about that? I guess we'll have to say, what are we disgusted yet satisfied with of that awesome Super Bowl and awesome week of our picks? So, Mitchell Tree will get it started here with that. I'll tell you what, not really a lot to be disgusted with at all with that game. About the only thing was, of course, my I had my player parlay here that just missed it. Throw that one up here.
Yeah.
You had a nice plus 740. Hollins gets it done, but no Smith and Jigba. Couldn't believe it. Thought for sure
You
that
can at
was a
least
good
get
one.
one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just missed that one. So a little bit of disgusted by that. But outside of that, it was nothing but satisfaction. And what am I satisfied with that game? Well, I had the parlay, hit it both, throw them up there, got the under 45 and a half, got the Seattle covering 4.5. Game basically went the way I thought. We hit a nice plus 242. That's a nice little win. Yeah, I forgot to mention it in last week's video that my actual prediction of the score was 26-19 Seahawks. So they ended up winning 29-13, pretty darn close, and damn close to that over there. I had it right at around 45 itself, but it hit 42. So pretty good on that, though. So definitely satisfied. Mitchell Tree nails it once again. How about you,
Nice.
PT?
I'm not. I'm satisfied about because I took Seattle to do it.
And
I'm glad you got your bet. I
yeah, I
mean,
made my main one at
your
least.
main one. I got mine too, but I
Yeah.
picked them to. I thought it was going to be a low scoring game, like maybe I called it 17-10. I think I said.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the Seahawks, they whipped them like a damn swamp
Yeah.
donkey.
Yeah, they took care of business
Mm,
for sure, and it's see it there up the number he got. Yeah, you have to give a little when you're taking them just to win outright, but
you
hey, get the win. So it's still
yep,
a nice win there for
yep.
PT on that, and yeah, definitely satisfied there. The game, like you said, was pretty much Seattle just it was an ass whooping. They they
They
they
they
owned them.
they took it to them.
Yeah, it was pretty much start to finish. It never really was in question, and that's kind of how we seen it happen, and then that's why wasn't really surprised at the
Right.
outcome. So not the greatest
And
game by any
well,
means,
and
but
then well, Sam
was
Darnold
normal.
finally got. He
Yeah,
didn't
good for Sam
fail.
Darnold. Good for
And the
Sam Darnold. That was
because
that
he
was good.
always
We've been saying all year, how
jacks
it's
up in the
yeah,
playoffs and
he'd
all
been
this
kind of
and all
labeled
that.
that bust, and then when he finally had a little success, in
Well,
the regular season last year, of course, we seen him it crumble at the end. So people were expecting it again this year. Now he came through. He didn't have to do much, but that's the thing. Don't screw up. Let your defense play fucking solid. Create the
exactly.
turnovers. You just don't turn over the ball yourself. Yeah,
And then Drake May was cool too, though. I mean, he just
yeah. I mean,
maybe
he just again, there was just they couldn't do anything all game. I
no.
mean, they were just overwhelmed.
Yep,
Just they may have just got there a little too soon for them.
yep.
That team just wasn't quite ready for the big stage. Brings me back to why Buffalo really blew it, man. Because think about that, Buffalo Seattle,
God,
that would have been a nice
that
game.
would
I
have
think
been a
that would have
good
been a
game.
good match. And Buffalo, this was your year. I mean, that would have been the better representative, I think, from the
Well,
AFC.
Broncos
I mean,
Seahawks would have been a lot better,
yeah,
but
but based on, I mean, even with Stidham, I think it would have been even worse than
oh
Super Bowl
God,
48. I mean, they would
yeah,
have
I
really
think
gotten that.
so. Yeah.
I don't think it would have been good against that defense. But with Knicks, I think they would have played a better game. But the way the Seahawks finished out this season and the way they played, like I don't know, I think the Broncos would have struggled with them too. I think anybody would have really when you just
Mm.
see the way they played, they really put it together well. So good for them.
Yeah,
Good
they
job,
whooped them up.
Seahawks.
They whooped them up.
Yeah. So and yeah, it's satisfied overall. I guess we capped off a great season. I mean, if you followed us there, I mean, Mitchell Tree's numbers were phenomenal overall on the final year, plus quite a bit there. I don't know if I want to say the number. I'll just leave it out there for you
Eh,
guys to figure out.
they'll know.
If you paid attention, you'd know where it's at.
Yep.
But yeah, we did great overall. It was a lot of fun, so I was happy to do it, and look forward to doing it again next year, of course.
Oh yeah.
But in between then, of course, we will be doing some other stuff. Mitchell Tree does do college basketball picks too, and currently
Ooh.
sitting at 81% right now on my.
So yeah, now we're gonna switch to
Yeah,
college, huh? All
yep,
right.
yep,
Then.
yep. And I pick, and those are spreads too, by the way. I do take the spreads on that, and Mitchell Tree nails them. So you might want to stay tuned for that. But
All right. Yeah.
until then, though,
Yeah. Stay tuned,
yeah.
folks.
Well, how about let's do a little something fun to close out this season, though. We'll pop up another picture up here for you. And what you're seeing before you here, Mitchell Tree's about to break down for you the best teams in the history of the Super Bowl era in the NFL. There it is for you, folks. And I'll explain it to you here because you got 32 teams in the league. You got 20 teams on the left side of that 50-yard line, right? Those 20 right there have won the Super Bowl at least once. The 12 on the other side of the 50, on the right side of the 50, there's your 12 bum-ass teams who have never even won a goddamn Super Bowl. So sorry if you're a fan of those teams, but this is how it's going to break down. This is the Super Bowl era and who's the best. So it'll be awesome to see anybody who wants to comment where their team should be ranked somewhere different because Mitchell Tree's got this figured out. Let's break it down for you. Obviously, here's how it's going to go. You see on the far left, the very upper left, that's your first team. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. That's your top 5, and then it's going to continue down to the next row, Packers, right, and then just continue. And I'll explain it all here. Super simple, all right?
Grief.
Yeah, and well, let me preface this too, but this is not a fan thing. I didn't put this together by anything that I think as a fan because the Patriots would be nowhere goddamn near over there.
Hell
I
no.
hate that team as a fan, but this is broke down the way I see it, and the numbers speak for themselves. The Patriots had a chance to become a team, would be the only team to win 7 Super Bowls if they had beat the Seahawks in Super Bowl 60 there. They came up short and didn't do it, which leaves them tied with the team right next to them, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're the only 2 teams who have ever won 6 Super Bowls. The way Mitchell Tree sees it, some might say, "Oh well, the Steelers are 6-2." Let's say Steelers are 6-2 in the Super Bowl. The Patriots, with that loss, are now 6-6 in the Super Bowl. I'm not breaking this down by win percentage. If you want to say the Steelers are the better franchise because 8-2 is better than 6-6,
I believe so.
sorry, 6-2 is better than 6-6. Some people would say that, but and I could add to that that the Patriots went to 10 of those in the last 22 years or whatever. So in all of history, it's kind of. But no, the reason you think about it, you can't 12 Super Bowls. That's freaking 20% of the Super Bowls that have been played. They're there every 5 years on average. We know they really weren't. It's all happened recently, but
Right.
you can't represent that many times and me not put you there in that spot. So there you go. Patriot fans, you get it. You guys, your team is still the best of the Super Bowl era as of now. 6-6 in Super Bowls. Steeler fans, you get next at 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no argument. They're the only 2 teams with 6 rings. And then you come to the next 2. All right, the next 2 both have 5 Super Bowl rings. The 49ers and the Cowboys do have 5 rings apiece. They actually both have 3 losses apiece too. So they're both 5-3, both 8 appearances in the Super Bowl. This one probably be the one you could argue the most that you could flip it one way or another, depending on how you really see the history. Me myself, Joe Montana, I just couldn't put anything above. Troy Aikman was badass. So was Roger Staubach. So was Steve Young over there with Joe Montana.
Hell no.
And then I don't know. I've seen the Niners go to 3 recent Super Bowls with 3 really mediocre quarterbacks.
And Steve Young too.
You know,
I mean,
yeah. And
you know.
so I don't know. I just had to kind of give it to him there. But all right, I could see an argument maybe for the Cowboys. Then the next team, I hate having to put them there, the Kansas City Chiefs, but they also have 4 Super Bowl rings
Mahomes.
now. I know just a few years ago, before Patricia Mahomes was drafted, just a few years ago, they would have been much lower in this list. But since they've appeared so many times recently and got those victories, they now have 4 wins and 3 losses. That's 7 appearances. They sit at number 5.
Yeah, Walrus.
And the Walrus was a big part of it, that's for sure.
God.
Then you get to the next row now. Your 6th best team in the Super Bowl era is the Green Bay Packers. Now, them and the Giants that are right next to them both have 4 Super Bowl victories, just like the Chiefs do, but they both only have appeared in 5, which is why they're ranked lower than the Chiefs there, even though they're both 4-1. Now, again, who do you rank between these two? They're both historically great fucking franchises.
Yeah, we went to the first Super Bowl.
But the very first Super Bowl was the Packers, and so was the second. They won the first two, and the damn trophy's named after their coach. So kind of hard to not rank them above them. So sorry, Giant fans. Packers get this one, and Giants come in next, ranked at number 7. Then we move on to the 8th-ranked team in history, the Denver Broncos.
Yes.
And the reason they get here, well, they do have 3 Super Bowl victories, so that is under some of the, obviously, the teams above them. They have appeared in a lot, so that's what really ranks them higher there. They only there's only 4 teams. 4 of those teams above them in the top row there, the top 4 teams are the only teams who have appeared in more Super Bowls or as many as them. And yet, they did a little better when they got there. Broncos are 3-5 in Super Bowl appearances, so that has them sitting much further down. Had they done a little better when they got there, and they'd be a lot higher in this ranking. Even though that team had some horrible years in the early years of their history, but look at how they've made up for it through the latter years. Basically, it was their first 15 years or so, kind of sucked. Dog shit. But anyways. You get to the next 2 teams. Also, Raiders and Redskins have 3 Super Bowl victories too. So why ain't they ranked up higher than the Broncos? Well, it's that appearance thing, like I said. Both of them have only been to 5, and obviously neither one have been there in a long time. But not that that's really how this is breaking down. But they're both 3-2 in Super Bowl appearances, so they become the next 2 ranked. How do you rank who's better than between them? Well, I think it's the easiest way. They played each other in a Super Bowl once, and the Raiders kicked the shit out of them. So Raiders take the Redskins on that. They get the 9th-ranked position, and the Redskins are the 10th best franchise.
All right.
There you go. Now we move on to these next 3 teams here. When you get to 11, 12, and 13, all 3 of those teams, Dolphins, Rams, and Eagles, are 2-3 in the Super Bowl. So they have the same. They've been 5 good appearances, but only 2 victories in it. This one, hit me up in the comments there if you disagree, because this could be jumbled. I even jumbled it, but the Dolphins, I just think
the Dolphins. They
had the perfect season.
They had the perfect season.
That's
what they're going to say. Yep.
So you really can't put them lower.
Right.
They also went to 3 in a row. They were the first team to ever even appear in 3 straight Super Bowls like that.
They didn't win them.
They didn't win all 3. That is true. Nobody's done that. But they lost the first one too, so they didn't really have a chance to win 3 in a row since they lost and then won 2. But
to the Colts, wasn't it?
No, they lost the first to the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then they beat the Redskins and Vikings, I believe it was. Yeah. So they're just historic. I think they even made the playoffs a few more times than the other 2, but I could be wrong. All of them have been in the playoffs quite a bit, like in the 30s, somewhere 35, 34 times. So you could kind of go either way. Eagles and Rams have been better more in recent years than the Dolphins, obviously. But that's how I see it. Dolphins get 11, 12 goes to the Rams, Eagles get 13. And that's just, like I said, I mean, historically, not that there wasn't really any. The Dolphins were great at one time, kind of, and then, as far as their wins in the Super Bowl.
And they only got 1.
Yeah. The Rams, obviously, are a little more spread out. But
they didn't they did get the perfect season. But
that's what I think. Definitely you hand it to them. They get that. Then out of the other 2, Rams or Eagles, I mean, I don't know. You could kind of jumble them if you want.
Yep.
But all right, now we get to the 14th ranked team, and you get the only 14 and 15 right here. The Colts and the Seahawks now are the only teams that are 2-2. Both of them are 2-2 in Super Bowl appearances. I edged the Colts over them because, well, they are a little bit older of a team, so they were around during the Super Bowl era a little longer and they went 1-1 in both Baltimore and Indianapolis.
Yep.
The biggest thing though is the Hall of Fame quarterbacks that the Colts had: Johnny Unitas and Peyton Manning. Compare that to Russell Wilson, who's good but not quite at that level, and Sam Darnold, who, obviously not quite at that level. We don't know. Maybe, who knows what he'll end up doing? As this, there's a resurgence, and he has, just year after year of greatness. Who knows? But as of now, Seahawks got to take the backseat to the Colts on that, and they're the 15th.
Yep.
All right, now we get to that bottom row here, where you got the two teams here, the Ravens and Buccaneers. These two teams are the only two teams who are 2-0 in the Super Bowl. The only two teams who have appeared twice and don't have a loss at all. Two or more times without losing.
Baltimore had that the murderer of those.
Yeah, had both times. Ray Lewis, he is a murderer on the field. That is for sure.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was amazing, and they had two great defenses, obviously, that did it. I hedge them out because obviously they're even a younger team than the Buccaneers even are.
Yeah.
But the Buccaneers they might as well not have been a team all the way up until the Ravens even became a team, because they hadn't ever done shit up to then.
Right.
And they're just, no, I'm not going to, and I'm definitely not going to give it to the Bucs when one of their Super Bowls was stolen by stealing the Raiders coach. Their other Super Bowl was stolen by stealing Tom Brady.
Yep.
Who was also stole a Super Bowl from the Raiders way earlier before too. So double whammy against the double whammy against
folks.
the Bucs. So they cannot be ranked higher than the Ravens, even though I'm not a big Raven fan either. But remember, this isn't about fanship. But no, it is. I mean, the Bucs just historically are not a great team. The Ravens, they've only been around for long, but they've always pretty much been competitive and good teams. So.
Yeah, here comes Tom Brady to the Bucs, and there they go, bam, bam.
Yeah,
I mean,
they get their quick bullshit Super Bowl. So, anyways, that's why those two teams are sitting there at 16 and 17. Now you get the Bears. They are the only
85 Bears.
They're the only team 1-1 in the Super Bowl. Yes, they won in 85. The great 85 Bears.
They lost to the Colts, right?
And then they did lose to Peyton Manning and the Colts. Yep. So that's their 1-1, and that's why they sit right there. Bears, they're a great team historically, but Super Bowl era, 1-1. Sorry, you sit down here.
Yeah, the fridge and
the fridge can't help you from this one.
Hold my beer.
He can hold your beer. He's not holding your beer anymore. He's not holding nothing here. He's sitting at 18th ranked all the time. So go to bed.
At Wingstop. Wings.
But so now we get to the 19th and 20, and here's your two teams that have been there once and won it. The Jets and the Saints. They're both a whopping 1-0. The Jets, it was forever ago when they did it, I know. But the Saints were the Aints. I mean, you were called the Aints for a reason. That team couldn't even get to the playoffs, let alone a Super Bowl, forever. They had their one stint of time with Brees and Sean
Payton and Drew Brees. Yes.
And they got their one, and they probably should have got more, but they didn't. And for me, the Jets at least have gotten close a few times throughout history, where they were a decent team and made some moves in the playoffs and just would choke. And remember the Mark Sanchez years? I
remember the butt tackle.
And the butt fumble guy almost got him to two Super Bowls. So. But as hard as it is, sorry, no, Jet fans, you should feel happy. You're actually ranked 19th. You're still be proud there, Jet fans. 19th best team out there. Right?
And Sean Payton should have been in, this year anyway. But anyways, whatever.
Well, yeah, Sean Payton, could have, but it would have been for a different team. So. So, all right, that's all your winners, folks. So you can see the losers on the right, and we can quickly go right through these losers and why they're ranked the way they are, because some of them have at least appeared.
God.
So your 21st ranked team is the Vikings. I put them next. Them and the Bills, 0-4 in the Super Bowls. They've both been there four times.
Bills.
They've never won it. Yeah, I had to edge the Vikings, though. I know both of them kind of, did it in just kind of one era. The Vikings did their 4 in like a 7 or 8 year period that they got, and the Bills went to their 4 straight.
Norwood.
And so maybe for a minute I thought maybe of even ranking the Bills higher because of the 4 straight. It's pretty impressive. But that's the whole thing. It went outside of those 4 years were they ever really any good till these recent Josh Allen years where they just keep coming up short. The Vikings at least were a pretty solid team a lot of other times, just still kept coming up short, kind of being the Bills of forever.
Well, and I think
errors.
I think the Bills should have at least won one with Josh Allen, but
Yeah,
obviously,
so that's why I think and blowing it this year. That was the biggest thing. You
Yep.
blew it this year. You
Yep.
should have been able to do it this year. So
Blew
you
it.
go down one. So they are the 22nd ranked Buffalo Bills. Then you get to the Bengals. They're the only 0-3 team in the Super Bowl. They've been there 3 times, lost all 3. So there you go. The next 2 Falcons and Panthers. These 2 bum ass teams are both 0-2 in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And, you know, it was hard. It was like, how could you put the Falcons anywhere when you blow a Super? They should have a ring. They blew a 25-point lead. I should put them at 32nd just for doing that.
Exactly. Or 20, whatever it was.
28-3. They had a 25-point fucking lead.
Yep.
So, but then it's like with the Panthers, this crappy team, they ain't been around as long, but they also blew a Super Bowl when their quarterback decided he wouldn't jump on a fumble or just would fumble all the time.
He was scared.
He didn't play like he played for his whole career, but no. Now, that one was, again, Falcons have just been, they were a much more competitive team, I think, throughout at least the Super Bowl era.
And the Panthers, they didn't have no chance with the Broncos defense.
And
they were scared from the beginning.
They should have won when they played the Patriots the first time, or the only time back when they played them with Jake Delhomme. Anyways, those bums sit there at where are we at now? If that's 25th,
25th.
Yeah, 25th. So then 26th is going to be your next. So now your next 3 teams, 26, 27, and 28, are all 0-1 in the Super Bowl. And so they've all just managed to get there once, and, they all blew it. But I had to go Chargers next just because they had some good, the Dan Fouts era, they were great, and came up short. They could have won a couple there. They got close, at least 2 AFC championships, I think, that they got to. Then you had the Phillip Rivers and LaDainian Tomlinson.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Felipe.
So, I just edge them. I know the Titans, they had the Oiler history too, where they were a pretty damn good team back in the day. So, they were pretty close sometimes.
Yep.
It was tougher with those 2, but that's just where I put them. So, you could argue with that if you want.
And the Cardinals.
And then the Cardinals, well,
they had St. Louis, right?
They were Chicago Cardinals originally, then St. Louis, Phoenix, Arizona. Look, that team is the oldest team in the league and doesn't have a fucking ring. You can't be. I love the Cardinals as a fan, so I would have loved to have put them higher up. But no, you can't only appear in one Super Bowl and literally never really get close. Just in my life, I've been watching football my whole life. That team's never really anywhere close to sniffing a Super Bowl. So they had to sit there. And then there you go, your final 4. Your 29, 30, 31, and 32. Those are your 4 bum-ass teams who have never even made a goddamn Super Bowl. And you can give an excuse for the 32nd team. They haven't been in the league that long, the Texans.
The Lions.
The 31st team, you could even excuse a little because the Jaguars were also an expansion team, 30 years ago, something like that. Somewhere in the 90s.
The Lions and the Browns.
But the Lions and Browns. Now, I know, historically, they were great NFL franchises. I hate dogging on them this way, but I'm not dogging on you. This is Super Bowl era.
Not dogging on it.
Super Bowl era. Your teams have not done anything, and I edged the Browns were a little better, I think, during the Super Bowl era, just that I've seen most of the time.
Well, the last couple of years, Detroit should have fucking at least.
Yeah, and they
choked.
Yeah, they were good at least, or they've been good a couple times, but nah. Those 2 teams, so that's why the order rounds out with Browns, Lions, Jaguars, and Texans. That's your top. That's your ranking from 1 to 32 in the Super Bowl era, according to Mitchell Tree, and it's accurate and correct, and you can't argue with it because it's absolute. It is perfect.
And yes,
no, like I said, there's some things that maybe you could see different ways.
We'll see what happens next year.
And that'll be the fun thing. So next year, obviously, any one of these teams could leapfrog somewhere else by just
any one of these teams
winning a Super Bowl. Yep. And imagine what Broncos, like I mentioned, if they win a Super Bowl, well, they're the 4 and 5 is going to leapfrog them all the way up above the Chiefs. They would have to be their 5th ranked team, just like that, from 8 to 5 in one season. It could happen, folks. So, but it won't.
You fuck. It's gonna.
But that's how we see it. I'm not disgusted yet. I'm disgusted that anybody would disagree with my breakdown here, but satisfied to hear anybody, in the comments try to tell me where I'm wrong. No, that's the breakdown for that. Thought that'd be some fun for you guys to close it out with.
Yep.
I think I will go ahead probably here at some point. I'll pop it up. I'll give you the pick I had. I think for today it was. Yeah, I did have a pick for today for basketball, college basketball. Throw it up here and
Oh, we can
see
start
if
doing that now.
Well, I'm just gonna throw it up for him now to just so this way when I do my next video, let's see if I fucking nailed it. Plus, I'll show them all the games in between because I might not be able to do that daily. Probably still do just a weekly thing, kind of. So you might have to just catch me on my good ones. Well, I'm good all the time.
Well,
I'm hitting
you're
that
talking about
82%
you're
right now.
talking about damn the college. Let me do the UFC.
Well, yeah, we
Yeah,
could
I'm
throw
gonna do
that
that
in
shit
too. So
too. That's
yeah,
how
we
I want
might
to try
throw.
to do that.
We'll do a weekly thing like that. I think we will do that.
Yeah.
You'll get PT's weekend UFC picks,
Yep.
and you'll get Mitchell Tree's update of all his greatness in the college, and then whatever current picks where he's at there. So you'll have to grab. Yeah, you'll have to grab it where it is. I said it's hitting right now 82% since the college basketball season started, and
No, that's good. That's good.
against the spreads too, folks. So Mitchell Tree
That's
knows his
good.
shit.
That's good.
So, well, yeah, thanks for
Well,
being along
yep.
with us. You got anything else to add there, PT?
I don't think so. I mean, I
All right.
think I'm good. When we do our next videos or whatever, which you'll hear from us.
Yep,
So
you're gonna hear the updates on the at least the game I just posted there, and then we'll come at you with something fun. So yeah, it's been great, you fucking idiot bastards. Thanks for being along with us. We'll catch you on the next one. Fuckwads.
That's what we're saying, you fuckheads. And if you got a goddamn problem, call that goddamn number about gambling, you dumb fucks.